Hey, it's Brandon from Ministry Nerds, and this video is the fastest tutorial on Planning Center ever. In the next 10 minutes, I'm gonna break down what Planning Center does and how to get started with it for your ministry. If you wanna take notes, you can download notes for this video at ministrynerds.com/CHMS. Now, disclaimer, I don't work for Planning Center, but I've spent years training churches on how to save time and make the most of this tool. But that also means I get to be really honest with you, tell you how churches are actually using the tool, and say things like this. Planning Center is an incredible tool, and I think it's the right option for most churches, but it's just a tool, and tools are only as effective as you are at using them. If you want to use a tool more effectively, then you have to invest in learning how to use it. The number one roadblock that is holding churches back from using their church management system, whether Planning Center or another, to its fullest is effective training for their staff. Trying to learn Planning Center on your own is like getting thrown into the deep end. You just want some floaties, am I right? So let's dive in and scratch the surface of what's possible in Planning Center and how to use it. This is Planning Center. It's made up of all these different products. Each of these products work together to function as one seamless system, and you only have to subscribe to the products that you need. Well, Planning Center added the customizable home dashboard. The people product is really the home. When you add or update a person in any of the apps, their information is updated in people. And you can even see their activity from throughout Planning Center using the activity tab on their profile. In the people product, you can run lists to sort through people based on a lot of different conditions. Every line you add to a list is called a condition. Conditions can relate to one another, and you can even get really complex and create groups of conditions called a rule. Once you run a list, you can apply bulk actions to everyone in that list, like add them to a group, send them an email, update their membership status, and so much more. You can have bulk actions apply automatically to new people added to the list using the automations feature. One helpful automation is to add people to a workflow. Workflows are a linear series of steps that someone needs to move through. For example, you might have a guest follow-up workflow with next steps like phone call from the pastor, send postcard, etc. You might have a growth track or next steps workflow. However, I'm finding that a lot of churches are utilizing custom fields on the person's profile for this. You can create a custom field and organize them by a tab on their profile. These are a really flexible way to track information in Planning Center that might not have another way or spot to track it. Once you have your custom field set up, you can create a list with conditions based around that custom field, and then have it auto-refresh and run an automation. You uploaded a volunteer application, you can have it automatically add that person to your volunteer onboarding workflow. That's awesome, right? Now that your volunteer is onboarding, let's dive into services, the product that you would use to schedule them to volunteer. Services is the product most churches start using first. In fact, some churches use services along with their other church management system because it's just that good. The entire services product is built around a plan. Think of a plan as your Sunday service, midweek service, youth night, or special event. Plans are organized under service types, and service types can be organized under folders. For example, I was a kids pastor, and we had the kids ministry folder with a weekend service type, special event service type, a service type for our servant leadership team, and at one point we had a midweek service type as well. We would then add a plan to the service type. Plans have two main sections, order and people. Order is where you organize the schedule, media, and song elements for that plan. People is where you schedule people to positions. On this plan, we can add items individually, or we can import items from a template that we've already created. That template we had created already had needed positions set up, so now we can begin scheduling people to volunteer for our service. If you need to edit multiple plans at once, you can hop into the matrix mode and start editing those plans. You can even drag and drop people and items between plans. When you drag and drop, it's duplicating the item that you're dragging. Everyone's scheduled? click the email icon to send out the scheduling notification to your team. Now, we're going to run out of time quickly here, so I want to jump into the next product, Church Center. Everything we've been going over is kind of like the back of the house, the kitchen where the experience is cooked up. Church Center is like the dining room. It's where your congregation will go to give, register for events, sign up for groups, fill out a form, and more. Your church can access this on the web or in the Church Center mobile app. And Planning Center gives you the ability to customize Church Center through a very related product called Publishing. In Publishing, you can edit what content displays in Church Center, what items appear in the menu, customize your home page, add sermon content, and more. A few churches have started using Church Center on the web as their primary website, but it's really not quite designed to replace your website just yet. But who knows what Planning Center has coming for the future. Next, you have Checkins. When I was a kids pastor, I lived and breathed Checkins. You start by creating an event, then set up a station, check someone in, print name tags, and track attendance for your services or events. It integrates with the services product and can recognize when someone checking in is a scheduled volunteer. And it integrates with registrations. They call that integration checkistrations, so you can check people in from an event that they've registered for. Registrations is more often than not used for event registrations, but now you can use it to accept signups for almost anything, like what dish someone's bringing to your church potluck. The powerful thing that sets registration apart as a product from the rest of the Planning Center products is that you have the ability to accept payments through it for the event, offer add-ons, create coupon codes, manage scholarship funds, and more. Registrations not only integrates with check-ins for the day of your event, it also integrates with calendars so that you can easily keep track of everything happening in your church and track what rooms and resources are being used for that event. And finally, your church would sign up for the event using Church Center. Often you'll have an ongoing group that costs to join. You'd want to utilize the features of groups since it's ongoing and helps better track group leaders, group membership, and group attendance. And it empowers your group leaders to communicate with their group. But what if you need to charge for the group? That's when you create a sign up in registrations. They pay through registrations, and then you have a list running with an automation that automatically adds new people who sign up in registrations to your group. Planning Center does a lot, and there are so many ways that you can integrate the different products within Planning Center. In fact, to help you get started, I went ahead and created a resource page for you with some helpful PDF downloads for free, like a checklist to use when moving your church to Planning Center, a PDF with 10 example Planning Center lists, and more. You can access this at ministrynerds.com/CHMS. And I've also included the notes for this video at that website, ministrynerds.com/CHMS. All right, before we wrap up this video, Planning Center also offers an incredible giving platform to accept donations. When you first go to it, you'll have to set up the integration with your church's Stripe account. Then you'll be able to use giving to accept donations, create funds, and run pledge campaigns. It's easy to create a new fund so that your church can designate their giving to something specific. People will donate to your church using Church Center. And during the process, it allows them to check a box to cover the credit card transaction costs. If you have permissions to see giving in your church's account, then in Planning Center People, you'll be able to run a list based on the giving data. For example, you could run a list of everyone in your church that's not donated and post it around your church. I'm joking. Please don't do that. That is a terrible idea. Protecting the privacy and data of your church is so important. Speaking of which, as you use Planning Center, you want to make sure that you're protecting the privacy of your church and making sure their data is secure. That's why when it comes to Planning Center, I always recommend to give people the lowest permissions possible. They shouldn't have access to information that they don't need. And that's a wrap on the fastest tutorial on Planning Center ever. I'll close with this. That's such a pastory thing to say. Planning Center can save you and your team hours of time every week. and it can help you be more effective at follow-up and make sure that no one falls through the cracks. It can be a tool that helps bring organization to the chaos and frees you up to make more disciples. However, your success in using this tool will be determined by how well you and your team learn how to use it. If you want to be successful with Planning Center, dive in, get training, and learn everything that you can. Peace.